This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Violence on public transit is rising in cities across Canada, but nowhere more sharply than here in Winnipeg. A CBC News and International Journalism Foundation joint analysis shows assaults on buses or near transit stops have nearly tripled here over the past decade. And Winnipeg has the highest increase of all major Canadian cities. Cameron McLean has the story.
This cell phone video captures the moments after a fatal stabbing on a Winnipeg bus. A witness told CBC News a passenger lunged at the victim as he got up to leave. 57-year-old Raymond Wesley Hill died from his injuries. It happened near here at the corner of Balmoral and Ellis, and it's far from an isolated incident. Violence on transit is up in cities across Canada, but in Winnipeg, it's way up, nearly tripling in less than a decade, and higher than any other city. A review of Statistics Canada's uniform crime reporting data shows violence on buses or near transit stops rose 281% from 2016 to 2024. The average for the 8 large cities included in the analysis was 88%.
Well, it's upsetting and disturbing a little bit, but not all that much of a surprise.
Transit Union President Chris Scott says drivers have tracked rising violence on buses for years, with weapons increasingly being used in assaults. Using location data from the Winnipeg Police Service, CBC mapped out where each incident occurred, the vast majority concentrated in the downtown neighborhoods of South Portage and Portage Ellis. Councillor Janice Lukes chairs the Public Works Committee. She says the high number of incidents downtown reflects the broader social challenges facing central Winnipeg.
Sure, there's addictions all over the city, there's crime all over the city, but the concentration of it is in these areas. And this is reflective, I think, reflective of what's going on our buses in these areas.
Data from Winnipeg Police showed the number of incidents peaked in 2023, with a slight decrease last year. Lukes attributes that drop in part to the city launching its community safety teams, with the focus on transit safety. But the union says numbers this year show the trend heading in the wrong direction.
They're showing us that the number of acts of violence are increasing to the point where they may even surpass this year the record set in 2023.
Winnipeg Transit writer Lucas Lambert says most daytime university routes feel safe, but that changes at night, particularly downtown.
It's more the safety coming off the bus that's the problem, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Like waiting at the bus stop?
Yeah, at the bus stops.
The city of Winnipeg took new steps this year to try to curb violence. Winnipeg police announced in September they would begin patrolling buses in and out of uniform. The city has also stepped up fare enforcement. It says much of the safety concerns involve people who have not paid for the bus. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Removing buses from nearby one city building is being credited for it seeing a decrease in violent incidents. Violence and safety concerns have long been issues at the downtown Millennium Library, from thefts to assaults and problems with alcohol and drugs. But a new report says incidents dropped by more than 50% over the summer. It says several factors helped, but it points specifically to the removal of the transit corridor and buses from Graham Avenue in June 2025, and also restricting library access for people who are responsible for repeat incidents. For one Winnipeg nurse, it's her worst nightmare come true. Her mom spent more than 30 hours in healthcare trying to get help for a swollen wrist. Instead, she never came home. Her case is now under review, and the health minister says they need to find out what might have been missing. CBC's Felicia Adam has more.
82-year-old Genevieve Price needed care for a swollen wrist last week. Her daughter is a nurse and says her mom spent hours waiting for a doctor at the Grace Hospital. Her death is being investigated in 2 separate reviews. The health minister wants to find out what went wrong.
This situation is a tragedy. The family did everything that they could do to get their mother the care that she needed when she needed it.
In a post to social media, Michelle Price says her mom waited over 30 hours, first in the Grace waiting room, then on a stretcher. In that time, she says her mother became confused and weak, and by the time doctors got to her, it was too late. Price says she did everything right by taking her mom to a clinic and then the hospital. She says, "My mom deserved better. We deserved better. We need better. The system is broken, and so is my heart." Health Minister Uzoma Zaguera says a critical incident review is underway, and another, more detailed review of the system will follow.
It's going to be looking at more broadly, every point of the way where there may have been opportunities missed, and also taking a look structurally at what more work needs to be done and where there are opportunities. And also looking at, what policy changes perhaps need to be made.
The health minister wouldn't say if the Grace Hospital was short-staffed when Genevieve Price was there.
I actually was in conversation with my deputy minister and folks in the WRHA about some of the pressures that the Grace was experiencing on the weekend. And again, it's really clear to us that the system is incredibly challenged.
In a statement, the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority says it's working with Grace Hospital to make it faster to go from the emergency department to other parts of the health system. Felicia Adams, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Manitoba routinely has one of the highest rates of gender-based violence and killings in the country, and the province says it's making moves to help stop it. The government is putting $6 million towards it. The money will support 32 critical initiatives to end violence against women and support survivors. Healthy Muslim Families is one of the groups that will get funding. It says immigrant victims face additional barriers.
She needs more than just a brochure. She needs someone who speaks their language, who understands her faith and the cultural context, and can walk with her without judgment and without assumptions.
Dozens of advocates gathered at the legislature this afternoon as part of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Advocates say the provincial government is dragging its heels, creating new childcare spaces in Manitoba. The province has partnered with the federal government to open thousands of new spaces, but at this point, there are thousands fewer than promised. The CBC's Matt Humphrey explains.
The demand is consistent.
I get a call every day looking for care. In fact, I have someone coming today at 3 o'clock.
In Fort Richmond in Winnipeg, Melanie Power runs Nana's House. She says she and other providers are having no trouble filling vacancies.
I get calls every day for before and after school care.
Today, the Child Care Coalition of Manitoba criticized the NDP government for opening new spaces at a slow pace.
Manitoba has opened 4,200 of the promised 23,000 new spaces slated to be created by 2026 under the Canada-wide Early Learning and Childcare Agreement. We are at far less than half, and the target is just a year away.
The provincial government has partnered with the federal government to build the spaces, but the latest provincial report suggests the province is coming up short. Education Minister Tracy Schmidt admits there's a lot of work ahead.
There are tens of millions of dollars in capital infrastructure investments happening right now here in Manitoba. We have brought thousands of spaces online already.
PC opposition leader Abi Khan is less optimistic.
The province isn't going to meet that commitment. It's clear as day.
The coalition says accessible childcare makes a huge difference for working parents, especially women, whose careers are disproportionately affected by child rearing.
Childcare is economic development. It increases the labor force participation of parents, particularly mothers.
Power, a mother herself, understands the challenges parents face, especially those with school-aged children.
It's really hard to find childcare for the 5-6-year-old range. We really need full-time kindergarten.
The education minister says Manitobans can expect thousands of more spaces in the coming years. Matt Humphrey, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Let's start big picture tonight because there's a bit to see on our upper level winds as we get into the evening hours. Bit of lift in here as this trough starts to develop, and this is going to push temperatures down as we get into the next couple of days. So we've been stuck under cloud cover across much of southern and central, really most of the province today. We've had some breaks in most of this. I do think as we get into the day on Thursday, we will get a little bit more in the way of some clearing. But as expected, as we get into the evening hours, we are seeing some of those streamers, some of that lake effect snow, as some of that cooler air combined with that lift, those upper level winds interact with some of the relatively warm waters on the lakes. So can't rule out, particularly through the Interlake, even into Winnipeg, that we could see a few scattered flurries or some pockets of snow as we get through the night tonight, looking at a low of -8 in the city with a northwest wind. -7 first thing in the morning, partly cloudy skies, and I do think we are a little bit on the brighter side as we get through the day on Thursday. Winds will diminish as we get through the day, getting up to -5, very seasonal tomorrow, but things do fall from there. I'll have the details coming up in your full forecast.
All right, thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Why new rules at a rural food bank could mean some donations don't end up on hungry people's plates. That story is next. Too many Manitobans are struggling to make ends meet, struggling to pay bills and put food on the table. In rural parts of the province, many food banks rely on farmers to help deal with rising food insecurity. But a new accreditation program could put that in jeopardy. CBC's Chelsea Kemp has more.
It's another busy day at the Killarney Food Bank. Volunteers feed around 60 families a month. Now they're under a different pressure, meeting the Canada Food Bank's new accreditation standards. Volunteer Petchy Hawkins says the food bank wants accreditation so it can get grants to help grow its infrastructure. But Canada Food Bank's new rules mean they'll have to stop sharing ungraded farm fresh eggs and change how they give out donated garden produce.
And that's why we depend so much on community gardens and on donations of produce from just from local people and from the colonies, because we can't access the Safeway store and go and pick up, 3 tons of produce.
Harvest Manitoba says about 5 of around 150 food banks in the province have been accredited. Megan Urbis says the process is daunting. She expects some groups will focus on growing local support instead.
When things is a thing off the side of their desk, they're just doing to support. So I can understand how this would be an additional pressure that they might not be able to do.
At Killarney Food Bank, Chair Giselle Beaupre says they're still not sure if the work is worth the reward.
And we wouldn't know the reward until we started applying for more dollars, more grants, doing all the extra things that accreditation would allow us to do. But getting there is the problem. There's a lot of little obstacles.
Hawkins says at the end of the day, her concern is how accreditation could hurt the food bank's bottom line, especially when they can get eggs for free from local farmers instead of $5 at the store.
Yeah, money will run out quickly if we had to purchase eggs at full grocery store prices.
Canada Food Banks told CBC it expects most participating food banks to meet the 2026 accreditation deadline. Manitoba Harvest says it can help groups that opt out with food and advice. Chelsea Kemp, CBC News, Killarney.
Winnipeg police are going digital. Cops have launched the first phase of its new electronic ticketing system. Under this new system, if you get pulled over, you'll be handed a printed ticket right there. Information is inputted and tracked electronically, reducing errors and increasing accountability. It comes weeks after a veteran police officer pleaded guilty to a number of offenses, including getting tickets thrown out for friends.
This is a step in the right direction, but it's from a public perception standpoint, it's likely too little too late. The damage from the Bostock case has likely contributed towards this general perception, which probably existed anyway, that ticket fixing was a broader systemic issue rather than something being limited to a single person.
The e-ticketing system was set to be deployed in some traffic enforcement patrol cars this week, with a full rollout planned for next year. Manitoba signed a draft agreement with Ottawa this week to make it easier to get major projects approved. The governments say they'll cooperate on environmental assessments and Indigenous consultations to get major projects greenlit, ones like the planned expansion of the Port of Churchill. It means they will only need to do one assessment moving forward instead of one at each level. There will be, Manitoba's Environment Minister says the status quo is inefficient.
Province would be leading consultations with a group of people. You could use First Nations as an example, and then that would be followed up by the federal government doing consultations with the exact same people. And so this is a way where we're going to primarily take the lead. There'll just be one process. So again, one window, one review for that project.
The Tories questioned whether Manitoba is ready to pursue major infrastructure projects. The province has yet to create the Crown Indigenous Corporation that will review and approve these projects. All right, Riley's in now. And Riley, one thing we talk a lot about, or you talk a lot about, is watches and warnings. Yeah. And we are hitting that time of year when we start to see them fly around. And I know all of us run to your desk saying, hold on, what's happening? What do we need to be aware of? Which one's worse? And there's some changes coming to this.
Some big changes to the way that Environment Canada issues watches and warnings in the country, moving away from watches and warnings themselves to more of a tiered approach. Here's a look at what you need to know.
You're familiar with how these work, right?
As of now, the agency in charge of delivering weather alerts in Canada has moved to a similar color-coded system in order to help you better understand how severe weather could impact your life. Environment and Climate Change Canada has been reporting weather watches and warnings the same way for decades, and it looks something like this. With the change, weather watches and warnings will instead look more like this. Just like the traffic lights, the different colors are meant to tell you different things. In this case, the severity of the alert and the risk involved. Yellow being the least severe, meaning you should prepare for significant weather impacts that could cause some damage, like a thunderstorm. In the past, Environment Canada says most weather alerts would have fallen into this category. Orange is meant to indicate that you should protect yourself from dangerous weather like a winter storm because widespread damage is predicted. And red is the most serious of the alert colors, meaning that possibly life-threatening weather like a tornado could be in store. Alert titles, which used to look like this, displaying just the hazard and alert type, will instead be more detailed like this. In the new version, not only are the hazard and alert type shown, but also the color level. Environment Canada hopes these changes will give you the ability to make better decisions in order to keep yourself safe. Okay, so here's a look at that color system once again, and this is going to be important going forward because you'll see these on my maps when we have watches and warnings issued. So most likely you're going to be seeing the yellow ones, which means hazardous weather is coming. There could be some impacts, but certainly we could see some of these yellows and reds, especially, or these oranges and reds, especially once we get into, say, thunderstorm season. So here's what that is going to look like. I mean, we have had some watches and warnings in parts of Ontario. I don't have any Manitoba examples to show tonight, but for example, this is what the yellow watches and warnings map would look like. This is a snow squall watch for parts of Ontario and a yellow wind warning, meaning that there could be some gusts up to 90 kilometers an hour. And then we do have some orange ones in the mix there. So the pattern where you did see that yellow watch was down through Kitchener, for example, but on either side of that, this orange one was issued because of the potential for some enhanced snow squalls with accumulations of up to 50 centimeters. So it's a bit more of a localized approach where we do see some of these watches and warnings issued and where you see some of those different colors issued as well. So it'll take some getting used to. We'll get into it and we'll explain it as we go along, but that's just what you need to know right now. Weather-wise, we are looking at things staying fairly stable in Manitoba again as we get through the night tonight. Maybe some lake effect flurries. We've seen some of that on the edges of Lake Manitoba through the evening hours here. So just keep that in mind as we get into the day tomorrow. There is that chance again. But as we get into Friday, winds start to back off and then we're still stuck into some of this cloud cover, so the cloud will feature, but I do think things do get a bit brighter, particularly as we get into the weekend here. What we could see in terms of snowfall, I mean, this is just model projections. This is just taking based on some of that lake effect snow, for example, where we could get into pockets where we do get 5 or 6 centimeters around Portage-la Prairie, for example. So keep that in mind. Very localized, again, not widespread by any means, but certainly that risk is there. Temperatures much colder tomorrow morning in some parts of the province than they were this morning. -11s, -12s into southwestern Manitoba. Thompson at -13, and things slide from there, looking at -5 tomorrow in Winnipeg. Still a bit breezy. We'll get the winds backing off as we get into Friday, consistently around -8. Brittany, as we get through the weekend with some peaks of sunshine in there, and then things are really falling in your 7-day forecast.
All right. Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
All right. Before that cold and before the snow, it's nice and clear outside right now. We have much more to come after the break. Stay with us. Authorities in Hong Kong say dozens of people are dead and hundreds of others are reported missing after a massive fire engulfed multiple residential towers Wednesday. Officials upgraded the fire to a level 5, the highest level of severity. Local media is reporting police have arrested 3 men on suspicion of manslaughter. Laura Westbrook brings us more.
This operation is continuing into the night here in Hong Kong. As you can see, the fire is continuing to burn, with firefighters battling to get it under control. Some of the flats inside these buildings remain on fire, and firefighters have been using water jets to try to get this blaze under control. It's been burning for hours since this afternoon local time. Now, this is a housing estate. It is comprised of 8 blocks, and it was undergoing renovation, and so there was bamboo scaffolding as well as green mesh on the outside of these high-rise buildings. And so when this fire started, according to eyewitnesses, it quickly spread across the bamboo scaffolding. Authorities are working to try to get it under control. There have been emergency shelters that have been opened up for some of the residents of this housing block. It is comprised of around 1,900 flats, according to reports, 4,000 residents. As I'm standing here, I can smell the smoke. Occasionally, I can hear bangs or pops as debris falls to the ground. The road has been closed. Hundreds of personnel have been deployed to the area as authorities are continuing to battle this blaze. Laura Westbrook, CBC News, Hong Kong.
The Prime Minister has announced new measures to help 2 sectors of the economy hard hit by Donald Trump's tariffs. The steel and lumber industries have been pummeled by the U.S. levies. The announcement comes after Mark Carney said he made a mistake when he dismissed a question about stalled trade talks with the president and his team. Ashley Burke has that story.
A day after conceding he used a poor choice of words while dismissing questions about Donald Trump, the Prime Minister announced aid for some of the industries he offended.
We must protect our workers and our industries who are most exposed to U.S. tariffs.
Mark Carney further limiting the amount of foreign steel that can come into Canada at lower tariff rates,
to ensure that our steel producers have a bigger share of our market.
He's also pledging another $1 billion in loans and support for the lumber sector, vowing to prioritize housing projects with Canadian wood and bring down shipping costs.
We will make it more affordable to transport Canadian steel and lumber across this country by cutting freight rates for transporting steel and lumber interprovincially by 50%.
The announcement comes after days of controversy after he dismissed a question by CBC News. Last time you spoke to Trump, sorry? The last
Who cares? I mean, it's a detail. It's a detail. I don't have a burning issue to speak with the president about right now.
That comment didn't sit well with Robert Mandel, whose companies had to lay off more than 100 workers because of Trump's tariffs.
It struck me as being very tone deaf, being insensitive to the plight that not just the industry, but the employees in the industry.
His company manufactures welded steel tubing, including in the retractable roof at the Rogers Centre. Since the summer, he's been pushing for help for the steel sector and questions if Carney's announcement is repair work for a sector he upset.
It's an improvement, without question, over what they had initially agreed to do. We would still say we need more relief, especially from the free trade agreement countries.
At the announcement, questions didn't let up about when Carney last spoke to Trump.
My exchange with the president yesterday was not newsworthy.
So it wasn't about...
I just responded to a question, wasn't newsworthy.
Carney says he's going to Washington next week for the FIFA World Cup and will see Trump there, but right now is focused on announcements like this one. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
A suspect is in custody after 2 U.S. National Guard members were shot just blocks away from the White House.
Where 2 of our brave members of the National Guard and the Department of War
were brazenly attacked in a horrendous act of violence. They were shot. They're in critical condition.
The suspect was also shot. Those wounds don't appear to be life-threatening. Investigators are reviewing surveillance video to determine what happened. The presence of the National Guard on Washington streets has fueled tensions for months. It's part of the U.S. president's anti-crime crackdown. Last week, a federal judge ordered an end to the deployment, but put the order on hold to give the Trump administration time to appeal or remove the troops. A woman with family ties to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has been detained by ICE. The U.S. Immigration Enforcement Agency picked up the former fiancé of Leavitt's brother 2 weeks ago. The pair have an 11-year-old son together. The Department of Homeland Security says the woman, who's a Brazilian national, entered the U.S. on a tourist visa, but was supposed to leave in 1999. Caroline Leavitt has not publicly commented on the situation so far. An executive at Campbell's Soup has been placed on leave after allegedly making racist comments and mocking the company's own customers. In a wrongful dismissal lawsuit, a former employee claims the company's IT chief, Martin Bailey, described Campbell's Soup as food for poor people and made racist remarks about Indian workers, calling them idiots. The comments were allegedly made during a meeting between the two men last year, which the employee says he secretly recorded. Campbell says such comments are unacceptable and they do not reflect the values and the culture of the company. Canadians hoping to visit any U.S. national parks will have to pay a higher entrance fee starting in January. The Trump administration announced the fee hike for foreign visitors on Tuesday. Foreign tourists will soon have to pay $250 for an annual pass, while U.S. residents will only have to pay $80. The government says the additional revenue will be used for conservation and improving the parks. Trump's new order also ensures U.S. residents receive priority access. In Alberta, 14 members of Danielle Smith's government are facing recall petitions, a move that could send Albertans back to the polls. The CBC's Erin Collins explains the growing voter frustration behind this development.
Just over 2.5 years ago, Danielle Smith led her party to victory, but more than a third of her MLAs are now at risk of campaigning again. Albertans logging on and launching 14 recall petitions across the province.
I'm doing it for the right reasons, to keep my MLA accountable for actions that they've taken.
Actions like using the notwithstanding clause to stop court challenges of laws.
They know that their actions are not morally or ethically appropriate, and that notwithstanding clause prevents any challenge against it.
The policy used to force teachers back to work, ending a province-wide strike. Getting a recall petition off the ground is one thing, but triggering the actual vote isn't easy. The petitioner has just 90 days to get 60% of voters from the last election to sign on. Alberta's recall legislation brought in by the United Conservative Party in 2021.
At the end of the day, ordinary Alberta voters are the boss in our democracy.
Overwhelmingly supported by UCP MLAs at the time, some targeted for recall are having second thoughts.
This is clearly a case of a left-wing activist group, Alberta Resistance, that is using recall, that is weaponizing it to force a general election.
Some political watchers aren't sold on recalls either.
It's, pushing for a do-over of the election rather than simply waiting for the next opportunity for everyone to go to the polls.
Turning any of these petitions into an actual by-election will take tens of thousands of signatures in just 3 months. A heavy lift, but the fact that so many Albertans are angry enough to even try is telling. Erin Collins, CBC News, Calgary.
In Gaza, years of conflict are taking a toll, with rising prices and heavy rains making access to basic necessities even harder to come by. CBC's Tom Perry has that story.
We've been speaking to humanitarian groups
operating in Gaza about really two of the basic necessities of life, shelter and food. On shelter, we've been seeing these images coming out of Gaza. There were heavy rains this week, and people living in tents and makeshift shelters were just flooded out of these structures. They were soaked. They were trying to clean up the water, but it's really just a very miserable time when that happens for people living in conditions like this.
It's really a desperate situation, and parents have shared with us how deeply upsetting it is for their children to be crying because of the cold, because of the wet, and there is nothing for them to do to support their children.
Now, the other necessity of life, of course, is food. I spoke to Martin Penner from the World Food Program. He says they've been able to bring in about 2/3 of the food that they wanted to bring in to Gaza to help people. He points out, though, aid is getting in, and so are commercial goods. You see markets in Gaza right now that are operating, that are full of fresh fruit and vegetables. But the fact is, a lot of people can't afford that.
People in Gaza, they've been through a war of 2 years. Most of them don't have jobs, don't have incomes. So that food that you can see, most people can't afford to buy it.
He's urging the Israeli government to open up all the entranceways into Gaza. Right now, there are 2 passageways in the south, 1 in the north, where aid is getting into the territory. He's saying open them all up to just flood the zone with as much aid as possible to make sure the people in Gaza, especially the ones who can't afford to go to the markets, that they get the food and the assistance that they need. Tom Perry, CBC News, Jerusalem.
A little less sparkle downtown this holiday season. Why Winnipeg streets are going dark. That's more when we return after the break. Manitoba, help make the season kind in support of Harvest Manitoba.
All it takes is one can of food, $1, or even 1 hour of your time. Your generosity will help those in need and bring us closer together as Manitobans.
Join CBC as we donate a day of programming in support of Harvest Manitoba on December 5th.
Find ways to give to Harvest Manitoba at cbc.ca/kindmb.
If you've taken a drive or even a walk downtown lately, it may feel like something's missing. As we inch closer to the holiday season, a stretch of Winnipeg's iconic Portage Avenue is filled with a lot less holiday spirit this year. We sent CBC's Chloe Friesen to find out what happened to all the Christmas lights.
Has the Grinch hit Portage Avenue?
It's been kind of sad, actually. Me and my family were talking about it. We were like, where's the Christmas spirit? Where are the lights?
It's like, we hardly have anything like that in Winnipeg. Also downtown, so it like brightens up the place. And like in the night, it's really nice to look at.
For the past 25 years, glowing angels, sparkling snowflakes, and mischievous elves have lined Winnipeg's downtown streets. But this holiday season,
They're here in this Winnipeg warehouse, and they're unplugged.
It's a bit unusual. Normally I would be in panic mode if they weren't out by now.
Derek Reish is in charge of coordinating over 700 holiday light fixtures for the city of Winnipeg. A workload that's a little lighter this year.
Traditionally, our Christmas lights would be up by now. We usually have them up and running just after Remembrance Day. However, this year they are going to remain in our warehouse.
That's because the city is in the process of replacing the poles that had special brackets to hold the lights. The plan is to swap these temporary poles with permanent ones with a more vintage look. Winnipeg historian Christian Cassidy says the downtown has a long history of Christmas displays.
1999, they went LED, and the curlicues that went across the street were taken down.
He hopes the legacy of those lights are preserved.
I still think there's something that people look forward to, and it's something unique to the downtown that no other part of the city has.
The city says in the meantime, the 5 median light displays are still up for Winnipeggers to enjoy. These are expected to be back up on Portage within 2 years. Chloe Friesen, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Right around the Santa Claus parade is when we started hearing from people saying, where are the lights?
Where did they go?
Unleash the lights. We want Christmas back. Lots of lights around the house, around Winnipeg on people's homes and houses that we will get to eventually over the next couple weeks as well, though.
I hope you had a chance to get them up by now,
yes,
because we're looking at some chillier conditions. Get the mitts on if you're doing it this upcoming weekend, for sure.
You warned people.
I did. Dog walking forecast. Let's do that. You might want to pull out the mitts for this one too, if you're heading out in the morning. Well, really any time tomorrow, because we are looking at temperatures that do drop closer to seasonal, and then as we get into the 7-day forecast, actually below seasonal for this time of the year. All right, tonight we go to Cooks Creek, where we find Sabre, who is actually Jerry's neighbor. So thank you for sending this picture of your neighbor in, Jerry. You can send yours as always. Love to see them to talk back at cbc.ca. So partly cloudy skies by 8 o'clock in the morning. Our sunrise at 7:58, so very close to 8 o'clock when we'll still be dark at 8 o'clock at some points. -5 by the afternoon, very seasonal for this time of the year once again, and looking at partly cloudy skies. I think a bit brighter than it was today. We were kind of stuck under some of that cloud cover throughout the afternoon hours today at least. In Winnipeg right now, -4 at the airport, reporting a few flurries, not totally unexpected with that northwesterly wind gusting up to 20 at the moment. Pressure is rising at 102.7. -5 in Brandon, -6 in Melita at the moment, and temperatures closer to -10, -11 through Thompson and Gillam at the moment. And we are looking at that cooler air making its way further south as we get through the next few days here. And then we get set up into a trough, which will really cool things down for the next several days. Actually, for the first week or so of December is looking like it will be well below seasonal for this time of the year. Overnight temperatures looking closer to -10 to -12 through western Manitoba, where we do still have a bit of cloud cover in place, closer to -8s through the Inner Lake into the Red River Valley, and -9s through northwestern Ontario. In northern Manitoba, Mostly cloudy skies, the odd chance of a scattered flurry through Thompson and Gillam tonight, looking at -16 in Gillam, to Dooley Lake at -18 degrees. Windy in Churchill tomorrow, once again looking at winds northwest 30 gusting to 50 at -12 by the afternoon. The rest of the region right around -10, partly to mostly cloudy skies as we get through the day tomorrow. And in southern Manitoba, we are looking at things perhaps a bit brighter tomorrow. We'll try for a bit of sunshine. I think the best chance for that back into western Manitoba once again. -6 in Dauphin by the afternoon. Again, you're looking at Futurecast picking up the potential for some of that lake effect through the early part of the day. But as we get into the afternoon hours, Brittany, we are looking at the wind starting to back off a bit, but temperatures hanging around -5.
All right. Thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Well, more people on social media are following influencers who share videos of themselves finding deals on products, including at places well known for cheap products like Dollarama. Gabrielle Gundy has the story.
There's a chance you've probably seen videos like these online.
If you're a fan of Dollarama like myself, I just found a 2-floor location, so let's see what they've got. They look like Uniqlo bags.
This type of content is called Dollarama finds, where influencers come across a good deal and then make videos showing them off to their audience. But it's not exclusive to Dollarama, because if there are savings out there, influencers want their audience to know.
There's so much more that Dollarama has to offer. For example, the food section, you can find condiments, you can find canned goods, bread, and especially in this economy and with grocery prices rising, I feel like a lot of us have to resort to Dollarama.
Kanan also creates other types of content, but she says she gets the most engagement from these kinds of videos.
I do get a different type of audience, kind of these people that are looking for sales and stuff, but I've gotten so much good traction, a lot of followers from these videos.
Experts say influencers are doing consumers a service by tracking down rebates for their audience.
They're doing the shopping for you. So they're looking around, searching for those deals. And of course, they have a vested interest in finding the best deals because then they'll get the followers. So it is a valued service, and it's something that consumers are wising up to more and more.
Adding that it's a sign of the times, and the rising cost of living is spurring the popularity behind these videos.
A lot has to do with the fact that these price increases have been fairly sudden. The volatility that's occurring south of the border is certainly having its influence over here. We also know that the countermeasures that our own government is employing is also having an impact on pricing.
And as a result, consumer perception has changed over the past few decades, and people feel more comfortable buying products in places they're not used to.
They know that regardless of where they're buying the product, if it's a branded product, it's a name, it's going to be the same, whether it's at retailer X, Y, or Z. So they're looking for the low-cost alternative. Certain merchandisers, it's not that they have cheaper product, they price them lower because their operating expenses are lower.
Soroka says this trend won't die down anytime soon. As long as the economy remains uncertain, people will continue searching for the best bang for their buck. Gabriel Gundy, CBC News, Montreal.
Items belonging to the late legendary musician Gordon Lightfoot have gone up for auction in Toronto. As the CBC's Griffin Yeager reports, it's given fans a rare chance to buy a piece of Canadian music history.
A Canadian icon whose work and legacy means so much, and that love and legacy has been on display here in Toronto at the Gordon Lightfoot Estate Auction.
The snow is softly falling.
This was a star whose work helped define this country's cultural identity, carving out a legacy that still resonates with generations of listeners.
$200 on these.
And that's clear in the auction house. There were dozens of items for sale belonging to the late Canadian musician who died in 2023 at the age of 84. From wardrobe items, handwritten notes, billboard charts, the band's performance gear, gold records, and documentation about the Edmund Fitzgerald, the shipwreck that inspired one of his most famous songs.
The legend lives on from the trip on down of the big lake they go get sugar man.
And of course, there was this performance Martin D18 guitar that he used with a smiley face sticker on the back that his daughter gave to him. That went for $380,000.
It's his tuner, right? His guitar tuner.
Among the bidders here was Colin Cripps, guitarist for Blue Rodeo, who told us that as a Canadian musician, he knows what this collection means and how important it is to have Lightfoot remembered.
You're not just seeing Gord as the famous Gordon Lightfoot and all the songs and music that we know, but you're also seeing all the early years of when he was developing.
Now, the auction house says the money collected is going back to the estate, with plans to donate some to the Gordon Lightfoot exhibit in his hometown of Orillia.
We have the amps.
I also caught up with the senior appraiser about curating this collection of music history.
It's not just art, like there are objects, there's pieces of sentimental history here. He held on to everything in his life.
This is a chance for fans and collectors to share in the legacy of a Canadian music icon. Griffin Yeager, CBC News, Toronto.
Still ahead, dozens of rescued birds, some now looking for a new home. We'll tell you all about it when we come back. Stay with us. A number of birds rescued after weeks of neglect are now looking for new homes. Animal Services found more than 70 birds inside a Winnipeg home about 2 weeks ago, seizing and saving more than 40 malnourished and underweight. Many of the others died from starvation. The city says 18 are now ready to find their new flock and be adopted. There are budgies, cockatiels, canaries, and even lovebirds among the group. Some of the animals must be adopted in pairs.
All right, a last check on your forecast now as we see some of that snow flying around the southern Interlake as expected along the tip of Lake Winnipeg here, Powerview, Pine Falls, looking at some flurries at the moment. That's all the result of that northwesterly wind, that lake effect. Snow pushing across our relatively warm lakes still for this time of the year. Slim chance we get into some of that still through the early part of Thursday for Winnipeg. Then our temperatures slide in behind this. -8s Friday, Saturday, Sunday, -13 for Monday, and our lows slipping very, very close to -20 by the time we get to the middle of next week, but a lot brighter by the time we get into next week as well. All right, one weather picture for you tonight from Lynn, who took this gorgeous sunset in Dryden. You can send your pictures to talkback@cbc.ca, particularly if you have a good light display on your house. Yes. A Garden City Santa is crediting his city councillor with saving Christmas this year.
A homemade holiday display was in jeopardy, but Santa had a few elves looking out for him. Brad Wallace is known as the McAdam Avenue Santa. He dresses up as the jolly old elf and decorates his yard.
This year, Wallace built and put up a new 3-meter wide, 17-meter long archway of lights along the sidewalk. But all of his holiday magic was canceled because of a Grinch.
It took me 3 days to set it up here, and within 48 hours, we had a constable here that there was a 311 complaint. We pretty much know in the neighborhood we have a Grinch, and we pretty much know who it is, but we can't be 100% sure.
Oh dear. Wallace says he tried to get a permit but couldn't get anyone from the city to respond. Eventually, a city councillor helped get officials out to him, and he had his permit in hand by afternoon. Of course, saving the holiday season.
And that archway looks very Instagram worthy.
Yes.
Looks like something you'd go and take some pictures in front of.
Yes.
Or in.
I bet you he has a lot of people stop in front of his house.
Probably after tonight.
Find those block heaters.
Yes.
It's starting to get cold.
Yes, extension cords.
Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.